Hello there, I'm Artistic Gamer 7, and welcome back to some more Sims 4 building, speed the building series thing I have going on here. So basically, we're on part 9 of this build. Now, if you're not familiar with what this build is and what is going on, I highly suggest you go check out the description below and go click the link to the first video or click the playlist so that you can just continue watching on. I know if you're like me, sometimes you'll watch a whole entire playlist in one day, especially like if you do stuff while you're also watching the playlist. I tend to edit and watch YouTube, or if there's like some sort of series that I'm watching on Amazon Prime or Funimation, whatever it may be, I like to always sort of have the TV going while I edit and stuff. Obviously, depending on what I'm editing, sometimes depends on what I'm decide to watch. If it's something I really want to focus on, usually I'll be watching those when I am editing Create a Sim or speed build videos, basically the ones that I don't have to listen to when I go through first editing. And yeah, those ones a lot of times I'll actually watch something that I want to focus on a little bit more. But yeah, anyway, let's get to the point of this build. So yeah, woo, sorry, just got like choked on air. That is really weird when that happens, so you're choked on air. How many of y'all have ever had that happen before? Anyway, so this is I was talking about in the last, like, I think couple parts, how I ended up actually adding a whole nother basement level, because where I want to make sure that there is 20 different unique rooms that I can potentially choose to exile the people from. So whenever I roll the dice for them for that morning during the little mini series that I'm going to be doing after this, then depending on what number they get depends on what rooms they get access to. So I wanted to make sure that there was enough to fit with a D20. So yeah, I ended up adding another basement level. And I think I actually added like 1 or 2 rooms down here, because I think I realized either I had enough, because I have characters like in my head and wrote down that are not drawn, but by the time I went to go do this, I realized that I had drawn a few more characters here and there that I actually could add to the series if I wanted to, since I now have a sketch of them. And there's one character that I particularly want to add just for drama factor, since, you know, we are going to be treating this little mini-series almost like a reality type show where they just get tossed into this house and we're going to see what happens when they all get put together. I did add, I think, a few rooms down here, like bedrooms and stuff. I don't think there's many. I think there's like 2 or 3 maybe added down here just where I could. But the beginning part here, I am making some rooms, and like you see, I put like the bowling alleys. I needed to know how much room I needed for them. There's a few of the things that I decided to make rooms for that I wasn't sure exactly how much room I needed for that room, or, you know, what I should do for the space and such. So I do play around here and there with this basement level, trying to figure out things, and you'll see me sort of confused on what I'm gonna do here and there, and like moving things around. What rooms am I gonna... I tried putting like the roller rink in at one point, eventually decided against that. There obviously is gonna be a bowling alley down here. There's gonna be like a karaoke chill out room, whatever you want to call it. I then will also have a media room, so it's got like things that are like, I think it's got photography type stuff in it. It's got the video station, so like making videos. It's got the acting stuff in it. I don't know if Sims freely do some of those things on their own or not, but technically I can, like, I'm gonna control the Sims a little bit here and there. So maybe in some cases, maybe like if they're just standing around for too long, not doing anything, you know, maybe that's something that I could give them to do. That's probably going to be one of the lower rooms, so like one of the easier rooms to get access to. So they may have to deal with it and actually try to use that stuff. There is some stuff in there that I think Sims will potentially use, because I think I have like a like a stereo of some kind I think I put in there, or I was planning on putting one in there. Then there's also like a magic room. There's a like paranormal room as well. Debating on whether or not to make this end up being haunted, just as like a little added extra effect. If you're watching this, let me know if I should maybe add the haunted thing, as I think it's now is it a lot challenge now? Because they added challenges and some of the lot traits got moved to challenges instead of being a lot trait. Which is sort of nice, because then you can have your 3 lot traits and then still have those negative lot traits at the same time, while also having decent positive lot traits as well. So I sort of like that they splitted them up so that you can have multiple things going on for a lot if you wanted to. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below if I should actually make this a haunted lot. Since I put the paranormal room in it, I'm very much considering it, because, you know, it might be fun. It might add a little twist. The only thing is sometimes that makes my MCC thing act up, just because when it tries to give the rewards for the, having the haunted house, it still gives the rewards, I'm pretty sure, because I've been noticing it in my female gaming legacy. I'm pretty sure it still gives you the rewards, but it really confuses MCC for whatever reason. But yeah, there is like a paranormal room. I did like a yoga spa room as well. There is like a room that has like technology, science-y type thing. So like the robot maker, the whatever it's called. I actually haven't used that enough to like fully remember what that is. But yeah, a lot of the science career stuff is in there, and there's like the robot thing from university. I think I even have one or the 2 things from eco living. I think, funny enough, I did put the candle maker in there. It's just like another sort of activity room. All of those are sort of activity rooms. I did decide to make this area down here where this is going to be the lowest basement level. I did sort of test to see if it would let me add another basement level. Out of curiosity, it will not. This is the lowest level it will let me go in. So this is the final basement level, and I'm like, even though, you know, like this house, we're imagining that it was set up for reality purposes, there's going to be a lot of Sims in this house, and potentially, depending on if y'all like the little mini-series I'm going to be doing, these Sims might be in this house for a full Sim year. So technically, you know, they might want to actually decorate for the holidays and stuff like that, and there's going to be a lot of changes here and there, so there's probably going to be areas where they just sort of throw the stuff in. So that's what I sort of use this room for. I just sort of thrown some boxes down here, a little storage area tucked up underneath the stairs there, and this is just like a little entryway to the bottom basement level. Considering a lot of the activity rooms are down here, you know, there is probably going to be Sims coming through here quite often. So, you know, might as well make it look all nice, and, you know, who knows, Sims can sometimes be weird. They might come and decide to just sit on these couches for no reason to talk to each other, maybe randomly take a nap instead of actually going to their bed, and, you know, even if they go to their bed, half of the time they just take a nap on top of their bed, even though it's like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and it's like, you might as well just get in the sheets. What are you doing? Anyway, my Sims sometimes irritate me. Sometimes they're a little stupid, but it's okay. I forgive them. They can't help that sometimes the programming backfires on them. But yeah, anyway, so basically, just a little entryway. Not a really big deal. Not really much going on in this room. It's just to try to look nice and also just have fun decorating, because that is a big part of doing this sort of series the way that I did it, where it is purposely spaced out for many episodes, because I wanted to be able to focus on the little details. I didn't want to rush because I was trying to finish at a certain time, trying to make sure that I had the video shortened so that it wouldn't be too long once I took out the dead parts and sped it up and stuff like that. I wasn't worried about any of that stuff. I was just focusing on having fun and decorating this. So, and I really have been enjoying this, and I highly suggest that if you are someone who builds and things like that, like stuff like that, I know like people who stream, this is sort of how they treat the builds, but if you mainly build your builds for like YouTube, and there's also a way in Twitch where you upload videos and let them go live like YouTube and stuff, but it's not like you actually being live, but you can put uploads up on there. If you do anything like that anywhere, I know there's Facebook streaming. I don't know, can you just, I mean, yeah, technically you can upload videos, because I watch videos, I see videos there all the time. Anyway, I don't really fool with Facebook too often, and it's showing. But yeah, so no matter wherever you're posting your videos at, I do highly suggest that maybe every once in a while, if you're just constantly, like, having speed build, if you're mainly, like, a builder especially, and you're just building constantly, trying to get it out as quick as possible, trying to make sure the video's as short as possible, so, you know, you're trying to make sure you're going through quick and getting it done, and whenever you go through editing, you know that you're gonna have not as much to work with. But I highly suggest every once in a while just choosing a build to just relax with and, like, not stress out, because this has honestly been really nice. I don't know if, especially since my series is going to be going on so long, you may not want to do it as long as this series is going, but where I added CC and the fact that this is being built for so many Sims is part of the reason why it is so long. If I treated a normal house like this, where it was going to be literally just built for an actual realistic Sim family that was, you know, less than 8 Sims, it would not be this many parts. No way, no how. But yeah, I highly suggest trying it, especially if you're someone who likes having CC, but you don't build with CC because you want to upload the build for the gallery. Take a build every once in a while, add that CC in, use it, because, you know, sometimes it's nice to just be able to decorate however you want and have, like, fun with it and enjoy it. Highly suggest. I really like this. I still want to do the short builds and stuff like that after I'm done with this. I'm planning on my haunted builds coming back. So I feel like my haunted builds and this is going to overlap a little bit. So I'm going to try to figure out how exactly I'm going to do that. I'm reworking my schedule. And I think technically the way that I reworked it, Saturday technically had an open spot to where I was just going to use it for random videos, so like vlogs, or I'm going to actually have some, if it isn't already posted already, I'm going to start doing updates on the EVN Forgotten families. They're not going to be all the time, and they're not going to be consistent. I'm going to treat them almost like videos of whenever I don't have time to get a video up, these videos are sitting there and ready to go. Or they will take the open spot on Saturday, because like I said, Saturday actually will have a open random spot, but for the month of October, I might leave that for the haunted builds, so that, you know, they have a designated day for them to go up, and this also can still keep going up. But yeah, anyway, so that is something to potentially look forward to. Now, talking about this build, obviously, while I was talking and rambling on, I decorated the bowling alley. At first, I was adding too many lights to the bowling alley, but to me, I like bowling alleys when they are a little bit on the... Most bowling alleys I've been to, they're always a little bit on the darker side. And in particular, I really like when bowling alleys do... I think they usually do it at midnight, technically. Where they turn, like, the black lights and stuff on and things glow and stuff like that. I love that. So, I definitely, once I started seeing how bright it was in the bowling alley, I went the opposite direction, because I was like, I don't want it to be bright in the bowling alley. Like, that's just not, not a thing I want. Changed it around a little bit. Used mostly stuff that actually came from the stuff pack. What was that stuff pack called? Was it just called bowling stuff? Or was it called something else? Oh, I don't remember. Anyway, it was the stuff pack that was specifically for bowling and things like that. So yeah, now we're working on the karaoke room. Now, I will say with this little karaoke chill out room, I think I forget to decorate this shelf and like some of the other things that I do. Like, I come back to this room later on, because I realize that as I'm looking around that I definitely know that this shelf, I'm pretty sure I forgot to put anything on it, and then, but I also think I put a table behind the couch. I think I also put one maybe in the front of the couch. Maybe I don't, maybe not, because the karaoke thing is right in front of that. But yeah, I definitely put a table behind it. You might be seeing that, you actually should be seeing that now. So I think that and the shelves, I didn't put anything on them, so I come back and add some stuff to this room later. But this is literally a pretty simple room. I will say, trying to think about, one of the things I'm going to have to think about when deciding which rooms get put for what number. Basically, the higher the number, the better the room. If I roll a dice for a character and they get a 20, then they have access to the whole entire house. There's no rooms locked off for them, so they're good to go. If they get a 1, they stuck in their bedroom. They ain't going anywhere. But, you know, the numbers 2 through 19, I'm gonna assign a different room for each one of them. The higher up they get access to those rooms leading up to that number. So if they roll a 9, they get all the rooms that are associated with 9 and below, so on and so forth. So I will have to decide what rooms go with what, and I know one of the things that I'm going to have to take in effect, like in account, is how Sims autonomously treat things. So a room that a normal like a regular person might find interesting, like, you know, the activity, like the acting media room that I'm doing, and like, you know, the paranormal room, those have objects in them that I don't see Sims autonomously using on their own that often. I will probably put them lower down, even though there might be some people out there that would love to go to those rooms more than any others, but gotta take account what Sims do. This room is very simple. It's mostly seating, it's mostly for chilling out, but there is just the karaoke. That is literally the main function of this room, but I know Sims autonomously go to karaoke quite a bit, so I'm probably going to put this room decently high up on the list. It's definitely going to be higher than that paranormal or the media room, because like I said, I don't think there's much in those rooms that Sims are just going to autonomously go to easily. And I don't want Sims to be excited to go to a room that is like 3. So yeah, gonna have to take that into account. Not just the amount of work that I put in there, and not just what I think would be cool. Now, bowling, I actually don't go, like, I like the idea of having bowling alleys in the game. But one of the things I hate about the bowling alley is that you have to put it as a bar for it to work for the bowling alley, which is sort of annoying. So I wish there was just a lot for bowling alley. But, so a lot of times I only have 1 or 2 in my worlds, and a lot of times Sims don't just autonomously pick to go to that one, like when Sims invite you out. And then sometimes I forget that it's there. I also am really bad about letting my Sims actually leave their house when I'm actually playing them, because I don't. The load screens are not long. I mean, they're sort of long for me, but that is because I have several mods. If I didn't have as many mods as I had, the loading screens would not be nearly as bad. But even if the loading screens lasted like 2 seconds, it's just something about having to go through leave the lot and then go back to the other lot I don't want to do. But I also don't want open worlds back. That is a topic that, you know, a lot of people would probably be like, you don't want open worlds back? No, I don't. I don't mind having the open neighborhoods. I like sort of how the neighborhoods are, but maybe slightly expanded a little bit more open world. Like, I don't have to have a loading screen to go to my neighbor's house, like, to get to the inside of it. But the whole world being open world, no thank you. Sims 3 was so laggy. It was so slow for me, personally. And my thing is which they may have eventually updated that for Sims 3. Eventually, at one point, I stopped playing Sims 3. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of amazing things about Sims 3, and there's a lot of things in Sims 3 that I wish Sims 4 had. But the biggest thing with Sims 3, well, there was 2 huge things, and it was the open world and the way that the Sims looked, which turned me off from Sims 3, and eventually I lost interest in it a little bit faster than I did with Sims 2 or even Sims 4. So that is the only thing that open world scares me. I'm afraid if we get open world again and like my computer, even though I have I'm upgrading my computer eventually again soon. And you know, I've been having nice computers for a decent amount of time now, so I think they could handle Sims 3 better than what I had back then if I actually tried to download Sims 3. But I still don't like how the Sims themselves look. But also, again, unless they changed it, and let me know if they did, because this would be one of the bigger game changers for me potentially liking Sims 3, and maybe potentially even randomly giving it a go again for just funsies. But I hated the fact that you couldn't go from world to world. Once you had a sim in a family in a certain world, you couldn't go to any of the other worlds, visit wise. At least I don't remember there being a way to do that. I remember being locked into that world which, I mean, the worlds were pretty sizable. The fact that it was open world and you got to freely walk around or be on your bike or be in a car and drive around and stuff like that was nice. And I did like that function to a certain degree, but being open world, I'm pretty sure is part of the reason why that was locked. Because they were trying to almost avoid some of those loading screens in a way. I think that was part of the reason why open world was the way it was. But I hated not... So, like, in retrospect, for anyone who maybe didn't play Sims 3, and again, they might have changed that. Let me know if they did. But I remember when I played it, I could not get from world to world. So, like, putting it in terms of Sims 4, you couldn't... If you were in Willow Creek, you could not go visit Brindleton Bay without exiting that save and going into another save of a different family in Brindleton Bay. So that would be what it was like, and I didn't like that. I did not like that at all, and I also did not like the Sims, how they looked, and some people will say, well, you can get a bunch of CC to make the Sims look good. Here's the thing about the Sims 4 Sims. Don't get me wrong, I love my alpha hair, I like my skin details, they're really nice, but if for some reason I had to get rid of all my alpha hair and all my skin details, and I couldn't use any custom content. I like the Sims 4 as is, like the Sims in Sims 4 as is, better than the Sims 3 as is. You have to get a lot of CC to make the Sims 3 Sims look good, in my opinion, versus you don't have to have much CC for Sims 4 for them to look good, and honestly, in my opinion, don't even necessarily need CC. It just depends on if you prefer to have a semi-more realistic or not, because, you know, Sims 3 was supposed to be realistic Sims, but to me, they look like some weird clay putty creatures. So yeah, I didn't like how the Sims 3 Sims looked. And here I go, rambling on again, not talking about the rooms as they get built, and we've already finished off the karaoke room, went to the media room, and are already into the magic room, and I have not talked about the media room whatsoever. But yeah, as you've seen, the media room has some acting stuff in it. It does have some sitting. It has a place to practice your comedy. I'm also sort of pretending it's singing, but I'm pretty sure you actually can't sing on those microphones, which is sort of stupid and annoying. Unless that also changed. Sometimes, there's been a lot of updates going on in The Sims 4, like, they're now even starting to do game pack refreshes, which the spa day refresh looks so cool. I want to play around with it as soon as I can, but I just haven't got around to it yet. But yeah, so there might be an update where they have changed that and they can actually sing on the microphones now. But last time I checked, you couldn't, but I think it's silly that you can't. But yeah, we're just gonna pretend that that's something they can do. But, you know, there's also a photography thing. I might actually make them take some pictures here and there. That's why I put all the picture frames up. So it's like everyone can have their picture frame, a picture of themselves in there. But yeah, anyway, so that is basically what that whole room is there. And then the obvious here with the magic room. It has a cauldron. It has, like, things that look like potions. It has pots for, like, your really strange plants, like your mandrakes and the what is it? One starts with a V, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but one starts with a V. Even put some of the, like, plants that came with the Vampires pack, too, like Wolf's Bane and stuff like that. They would fit into this setting as well. But yeah, just trying to make it look all magical and stuff. Considering I did make some of the characters immediately spellcasters, this was like a place that they'd really like to go. Also, these characters are D&D based. This room screams fantasy with wizards and sorcerers and warlocks. That is what this room is. I know Sims like to automatically go and try to fix mac and cheese in the cauldron as well. So this room might be a little bit higher on the list just because Sims are going to go try and make mac and cheese all the time. Anyway, this video should be ending here soon. We'll finish up the magic room in the next one, and then we'll be working on the paranormal room after that. I hope you enjoyed this video and are liking the build so far. And I know there's a lot of rooms to keep up with at this point, but please let me know if you have a favorite room and what room it is. I really don't know. Like, there's so many rooms, and also, like, I've been working, like, I'm so much further ahead working on this build than what is in this video. I'm already on the bedrooms, and I've gotten quite a few bedrooms done already. So, trying to think, I really like the spa room, which you haven't seen yet. I do like this magic room quite a bit. I like the paranormal room that is coming up. I really like the pool room. I like how the outside looks. I like the kitchen as well. Also, kitchen has food in it, so that automatically gives it a plus. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series and are looking forward to the mini-series along with it. Definitely check out the creative sim of the D&D characters that will be going into this house. And I'll hopefully see you in the next one. But until then, bye-bye!